more literature. This has the whole book. 2 pamphlets. 2 pamphlets! Pardon-moi the interesting lighting, but here is the external of the 91 Oldsmobile 98 Series Touring Sedan trim level package. We start at the front. We have factory fog headlights with this trim level. This one does have the lens on there. We have factory alloy rims, and yes, all 4 hubcaps are intact. You get the prestigious Touring Sedan badge. I don't know about the pinstriping, if that's with the package too or not. I don't know. There's so few of these cars out here. The white walls are your standard, was it 1 3/4 white walls? I don't see. It's vintage correct, but I prefer a little bit wider white walls, but hey ho. And for the trunk, again, you get the Touring Sedan badge for the keyhole. In regards to the trunk itself, trunk lid itself, we have a soft close mechanism. Basically, you would gently shut your trunk and it would draw it down and close it the rest of the way. Well, the problem is the switch here that I had here, it's broken, and no one makes them anymore. I found another one. My friend has a parts car. Here's a switch right here, and it doesn't work either. So really the only way is busting this thing open, potentially without breaking, and see if you can clean up the contacts to make this work. Otherwise, you may have to rig something else up. So we're not worried about soft close right now. So what I did is I got onto the motor, and I was able to, the motor works fine, the worm screw, everything works, except for the switch itself. And I simply draw this bar back down, or this anchor post, I guess you would call it. I don't know. Just down enough to where the trunk will still latch. But I may have to run separate wiring, so maybe the owner can control it manually until we can get that fixed proper. But anyways, you can see right here, it moves a little bit because that motor needs to draw it all the way down the rest of the way, but I can't have that anchor point too low because then the latch won't work at all. But that is a feature that you get on the Touring Sedan flavor. You get a power antenna that shuts on and off with the radio, and of course it's just rinse and repeat on the other side. And yes, the badging is all still here. No low ballers, I know what I got. No, it's not for sale. The door's locked. Genius. Continuing on with the rear passenger cabin area. For the doors, we have, of course, ashtray. Window up and down, electric locks, of course. And unfortunately, it has a child-proof window, so they only go half down. Never really liked that, but them's the laws. Of course, you guys have already seen this on my slightly mediocre detailing. We've got bucket seats back here, leather bucket seats with Oldsmobile embroidery stitching. Oh, I tell you what, I've never sat in seats that were so comfortable. These are very plush. This is amazing. Now, the headliner, obviously, it's done. This headliner is completely done, so it's definitely fallen off the glue. Unfortunately, it needs a complete overhaul. I will not be doing that because I got too many other things to do, but the headliner is technically there, but this is typical on all cars of this vintage. All right, stepping inside here, these seats are so comfortable. As I said, you do have a armrest, so you're not a peasant. You can sit down here and luxuriate while you're driving up and down the motorway. This thing has never been used. There's no way. This thing is just, it looks brand new. It's fantastic. You got your map pockets on both sides. You even have rear vents for your air conditioning and your heating so you don't freeze or roast your passengers. How about that? And there's your cup holder. And you even have a footlight when the door's open. If we shut the door, fantastic. All right, well, that covers the back. We'll go up to the front now. Now on the front door, of course, we have electric mirrors. Yes, they do work. And then we have a whole bunch of controls for the seat itself. We've got tilt, forward, backwards, up, down, back tilt, all the tilts. We'll do the tilt forward now. Excellent. We'll move the seat now with the forward, back, up, and down controls. This will be up. This will be down. Maybe not. Well, all four functions work. There's up. There's down. I don't know if you guys can tell that. There's up. There's down. Forward and back. And then you can adjust. Then you can adjust your back tilt with this button. How fantastic is that? Of course, we have all electric windows, and this does have the auto feature, so if you push this all the way down, it will roll the window all the way down with one click. You don't need to hold it down like a peasant. And of course, your standard window lock button there. And of course, you have the recliner option here as well. So what you do is you press these buttons here, it reclines just the seat. How fantastic is that? I'm surprised these switches still work. There we go, okay. With this car, you have the tilt function. So I can do this with one hand. We have the tilt wheel. I kind of was hoping they would have a telescoping column as well, but it does not. Maybe they reserve that for the Cadillacs only. Maybe the Buicks, I'm not certain, but shoot, tilt wheel, that's still pretty posh. We have finger controls, we've got some horns, and we've got the fan up and down for your heater blower, as well as your temperature, and volume up and volume down seat for the radio. If it had the factory radio, which my friend says he does have a factory radio for it, which should be vintage correct. We're not going to worry about that right now. Let's go ahead and start this up a little bit. Before I play with all those buttons, I will say that this car is definitely low mileage. But guess what? We even still have the original factory owner's manual. Alright, so there is the factory owner's manual. We even got booklets, some palm booklets in here. What do we got here? Oh, there's your warranty. If you need owner assistance information, bumper to bumper plus. There we go. The Oldsmobile Edge. A new generation of owner satisfaction. Fantastic. There you go. If you want roadside assistance, there's your number, 1-800-535-OLDSMOBILE. I wonder who has that number now. Oh, somebody highlighted something in here. What was that? After the first year or 12,000 miles, there is a $100 deductible per repair visit. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Guaranteed satisfaction. Keep engine oil at proper level and change as recommended. Well, it is important. I'm not going to lie. It is important. So, this is the maintenance schedule for this thing. There's more literature. This has the whole book. 2 pamphlets. 2 pamphlets! You can sell those for $2 each. No. They're not for sale. I gotta keep this car complete. This is like a time capsule. A word about maintenance. No, y'all. Covered maintenance required. Book is organized, but sections okay. I don't know if sometimes owners would write in here when that schedule was actually performed. I don't know if this one actually has that. Tells you your interval. Oh, schedule 1. Somebody circled that. Someone's been in here. Engine oil every 3,000 miles. Throttle body mounting torque bolt at 6,000 miles only. Oh, this is the initial break-in. Spark plugs, we did those. We did factory correct ones. Okay, cool. It's got you a little every so 1,000 miles or kilometers when you need to do the stuffs. Sometimes they put them in here, but woo! Imagine having a 5.7 in this bad boy. Well, I don't see anybody. Okay, yeah. See, I was hoping that somebody, because sometimes owners would actually scrawl this in. That's pretty cool to see, but no one did that here. But oh well, when it was done initially, that's all right. A couple of features here I'll point out in the car. This one does have the Twilight Sentinel on it, and what that does is basically how dark it becomes, it will automatically turn your headlights, and you can adjust that setting. And there's the Twilight Sentinel switch right here. It does kind of work. It's kind of sticky, and I think the resistor in there is going out, but it technically does quasi work. I can hear it clicking, and it does make the lights come on, so that's intact. And of course, you can adjust your interior dimming or brightness if you want to, or if you want to turn on your dome lights. I believe that's the switch for the dome lights. Yes, it is. And of course, your regular switch, headlight switches. Another fun option that this car has is the Driver Information Center, which is all of these fun buttons all up in here. And the readout for that would be right here. But yeah, look at all that fun stuff it'll tell you what you can do with it. That's pretty cool. And of course, for the ignition itself, we'll start it up. Of course, we have the famous or infamous resistor starter key, pellet starter key for the anti-theft system. Which again, does actually still work on this thing. There we are. You can even set the time, so yes, it's telling me change oil now. This thing's got a parasitic draw. The battery goes dead, so I got to turn the batteries off when I'm done with the car overnight. Otherwise, it may not start in the morning. This car does not have 220,000 miles, to be honest. The owner says that he actually was told that there was something wrong with it years ago and was told that this instrument panel has been switched out. To be honest, I doubt that this car has over 100,000 miles. I really would be surprised. Oh, another feature is check engine oil level. That came on when I was ready to start filming this. It is 1 quart low on the actual dipstick, so it does have an oil level sensor on there. Fantastic. And of course, you've got your charge, temperature, your big 2 gauges there, fuel, and pressure. Yes, we do have a check engine light on. No idea what that's all about. I really don't feel like pulling trouble codes. This is before OBD2 came out, which means you need to plug or ground one of the pins in the diagnostic electrical connector, and the car runs great, so I'm really not going to worry about that for right now. For here, you have automatic heating and cooling if you wish. You can click it on auto. There's your temperature. Air conditioning doesn't work. Not really surprised. There's your fan level there. The switches on the steering wheel does actually work. Check this out. As soon as it's in focus, at your convenience. Okay, there's me pushing on it with the switch, you can see, and the fan. You can also, the steering wheel controls definitely do work still. Fantastic. And of course you have a rear defogger. And for this, you would press this for fuel economy. You can go through your trip computer, instantaneous gallons used, your range, what's your average speed, a few different gauges, coolant level, pressure, oil pressure, distance to nearest empty, so you can calculate all your long family road trips and all that fun stuff. My friend says he does have a radio, one of the factory radios that can go back in here, not necessarily the one that came with the car, but he's got another Oldsmobile. We may swap that out one day, we may not, I don't know. As for your glove box, there's actually a switch underneath here for the trunk security. So if you want to lock or unlock your trunk, prevent that soft close from opening and working, that's the buttons that you would use for that. And even the glove box light works. This is truly a time capsule piece. Well, it's just fantastic, except for the headliner, but yeah, that's fantastic. Of course, if you want to lock it up, there's your keyhole for that as well. Of course, the passenger would have all of the creature comforts of a front seat as well. Up, down, left, right, and yes, those do work as well. Moving to the center of the console, They definitely don't make cars with these medallions or badges or shields or whatever you want to call them anymore. But that is awesome to see. It makes you feel more like royalty here, yeah. You push this one way, there you go. That's your cup holders. People today may not know what this is, but there's your ashtray. Never been smoked, and look at that. I wonder. Let's test it. Let's push our luck. Wait for it. We'll do this real time. I should have my fire extinguisher here just in case if this doesn't work. Should pop out when it's automatically done. Oh, I hear it. Oh. Hey, it works. And it is working. Cherry red. I'm sure that brings back memories for a lot of people. Don't ever smoke, kids. It's not worth it. But anyways, but it is still awesome to see that. So never smoked in. Fantastic. And of course with the touring sedan package, you get the console shifter. Check that out. This ain't on the column, baby. You don't have to reach up here and be a peasant. You can just have it right here where you are resting comfortably and simply drop it into gear if you have to. Of course, I'll show you guys the gear shift indicator, or rather gear selector indicator. That still works in all the gears. Fantastic. And here where your hand would normally be, we have fog lights switch here, and then more lumbar support for the left and the right front seats. And for the glove box, we have ample storage. For those of you who don't know what this is your CD and tape holder. So, we had some CDs here. Good movie. You can stack them in the corner here. Like that. Now, what happens if you didn't have all of these fancy new CDs in the early 90s? Well, if you're still kicking it old school, there's some cheap tricks. You can put cassette tapes in here. There you go. Which one's this one? Oh, Def Leppard. This is the Pyromania tape. Stick that in there as well. And if you were good with the tapes back in the day, if you had your own cassette decks at home, you can make your own mixtapes. I still have 3 Fuji DR1s that are still unopened. So if you had your own mixtapes, of course you can put your own mixtapes in here as well. I'm going to jog your guys' memory here a little bit. So these are standard case sizes, and these are the slim case sizes. Remember they had 2 different case sizes? That's pretty cool. I have a lot more tapes. These are the only 2 I can immediately find in my stash. I think, oh, the other ones must be locked up in storage somewhere. But got some other fun songs too. I was really hoping to find my Ace of Base cassette, but I don't know where that is. That would be more or less Eric correct. It was 95 that came out, the Sign album. Anyways, so there's a nostalgic for you. So if you want to buy one of these cars, you're still rocking cassette tapes, boom, we can do it. Oh, love me some tape. Tape will come back one day. I swear it will. And of course for the seats, we have bucket leather seats. And of course we have the stitching, Oldsmobile stitching again. That is in tip-top shape. And of course we have our cruise control. And yes, it does work. And of course your standard wiper and washer and all that fun stuff. And right behind it, we have our fuel trunk lid, our fuel cap door unlock button, as well as our trunk unlock button as well. Of course the mirror has the auto dimming feature on it. There's your off, minimum, and maximum tolerance level, in case you need to adjust it a little bit. There you go. And there we are. A somewhat inside view on what a 1991 touring class Oldsmobile trim level package will get you. Gas bubble. have a check engine light come on this thing. I don't care. It runs smooth, that's fine. Plus, this is pre-OBD2, which means you gotta get like a paper clip or a jumper wire to short out the diagnostic terminal to get the lights to blink. At least Chrysler up to 95, you can just flick the key on and off 3 times, it'll start showing you your trouble code. No, General Motors cannot ever do that. Oh, bother. As the old Pooh Meister once said, I used to have a coworker named Pooh Bear. In his shape, he was pretty much looked like a Pooh Bear. I think my nickname at that workplace was the Master of Disaster. I think that's where I got that title. Maybe it was the workplace after that. I can't remember. All right. I love driving this thing. This thing shifts so softly on the transmission, like it wants to go up to 3 grand before it even thinks about shifting into the next gear. But it's a really smooth transition though. It's just so soft. It's like almost want a little bit more of a crisp shift. But again, this is Oldsmobile. This is not a sports car. You know, come to think about it, Oldsmobile was definitely the middle child of the GM lineup. Oh, doing some linemen up there. Sweet. It's running with that white powdered substances on the field. Just get it in. Good. You put lime down on your ground to raise the pH of it. A lot of chemicals and fertilizers, they're a lot of acidic base, or got a lot of acid in them, relatively speaking. So every once in a while you gotta neutralize it with the pH to get it to calm down so your plants can grow better. Unless you're growing something like, I don't know, tomatoes. Anyways, back to the car. Handles the bumps pretty well. I wish the suspension was a little bit softer, but it's way softer than the service rig. But don't get me wrong, it still has a very soft suspension in it, and I love it. These bucket seats are so comfortable. Oh. Now if they were heated, that could be dangerous. You could be falling asleep. Moo-moos. So far, we're getting about 24 miles a gallon out of it. I've done mostly highway driving, not too aggressively, 55, 60 miles an hour. But, so you get some good fuel economy so far. I don't know what else to say. It's brilliant. It's a great car. The RPM gauge would start working. It is working, but there's got to be a loose solder joint in there, just like in my head. Hey! I think there's a few more joints that are loose in my head than just 1 or 2. I think there's quite a few terminals that are a little bit loose. A little bit of screws loose. They don't even stock price type of screws anymore. So we gotta custom and modify them. I don't know what I'm blithering on about. I'm tired. I've had a long day. 58 hours a day. It's been a long week. Oh, round hay bales. You know they outlawed round hay bales recently? Yeah, it's because cows were getting 3 squares a day. Anyways, run and drive's great. Straight, let go of the wheel, straight down the road. Brakes evenly. It's got a V6, so there's not a whole lot of power there. I mean, there's power to get going. But smaller engine, you get a little bit better fuel economy. I don't know. I love it. It's a great car. Obviously this one needs some help. The headliner's gone absolutely bonkers on us, but after 30 years, you gotta cut the car some slack. No, I really don't want to fix that. Really don't want to. It'd be a mess. It's time consuming. I actually have to pay attention to make it look nice. You guys think I'm going to be doing that? No. Not with this one. This is not really my project. I'm just going to get it going for a friend of mine. I've got enough projects sitting in the shop already. It's not very bright outside. What time is it? Yeah, it's 3 in the afternoon, and dang, I don't even take my glasses on. I got a lot of cloud cover today, which is the northwest, which is per usual. Maybe we'll take some, give us some of that lovely go-go juice. Come on, talk about caffeine, baby. No, this car is great. No major issues whatsoever. Now, check engine light is on. I'm suspecting it's on because our engine is not getting up into temperature. It's barely sitting above 150 degrees. I'm going to suspect that's what's going on. Computer must be... I know with our Volvo, if you have an stuck open thermostat, the engine will see that the engine's not getting up in temperature. It'll set a code, but that's OBD2. This is a 91, so I don't know if there's a code for that for this computer. Still averaging 24 miles per gallon though. Dang. And the cruise control works. Definitely a cruising car for sure. Long family road trips. Plenty of ample space. I mean, I think the seat's further back as it can go, and it's got lots of room. Now all you need is 3 screaming kids in the back. I was a brat when I was younger, not gonna lie. More than enough times my brothers left each other's mark on each other. Alright. I don't need the cruise control going up the hill. We don't need to be revving it. Calm down. It's alright. We were biters. Good old family fun. It was brilliant. But no, well happy with this. I was able to, and ever since I did that fuel episode a few weeks ago, I've been turning this thing on and off almost every day. I can't get that fuse to blow again. The points look good on the fuse relay, although full disclosure, I did also replace... Oh, let me try that again. Lost my thought. I don't know. Oh, the fuse. Now with the fuse, that was a few weeks ago. It hasn't blown since I did the fuel pump. Now one of you guys did chime in that the connector can also be at fault. So I did replace that connector, spliced in a new one, and the fuse hasn't blown. So you figure we got a new fuel pump back there, we got a new fuel pressure regulator, new fuel pump relay. It hasn't blown. I think this thing's going to be bulletproof on the fuel side for at least another 100,000 miles. But yeah, the fuse hasn't blown since. I guess we'll call it a win. It should have blown by now from what I've been told. So I think, honestly, it wasn't the fuel pump. It was a fuel pump fuse relay, or the fuel pump relay, and the electrical connector that goes into the tank, the pigtail, if you will. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. That's all I can think of. Oh, that's nothing. Steering, how responsive is it? Oh yeah. Not bad. It's tighter. It's definitely tighter than the Lincoln Continental of the 70s.
I can honestly say I had a great time reliving the 90s through this car. Now, I have to go find the rest of my cassette tape collection. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Thanks for your support, and we'll catch you all on the next go-around. And as always, remember to keep the greasy side down. Come on.
Can you believe this thing? Look at this thing. What do you think you're doing? Mm-hmm. I need a trunk case. If I want to open up the trunk and show you guys a soft dealio thingy, I'll beep yourself. He thinks he owns the place. Unbelievable. Still, it's a little bit loose because the motor needs to drop down a little bit, but that's the furthest I can go down, and that'll have the trunk lid still sealed. Well, technically that's the neighbor's bushes, so they do poop in my field a little bit. Little poo-poo heads. Which I can't get it with both hands, so I gotta do this. Can you get that? You guys remember? I don't know if you guys remember, but remember some of these. Some of you are old enough to remember, but I'm going to jog you. Of course, you have a rear defrogger. That's right, just make yourself at home. I'm going to put you guys back down. Put the books away. We have factory headlights. Those are not headlights. Those are not fog lights. That's nice. That's nice.